Hello and welcome back to F1 22 Driver Career Mode, and welcome to the French Grand Prix. Of course, being an Alpine driver, this is our team's home race, so we're bringing a special livery. As you can see, the pink livery is here. We haven't run it this season because, you know, the blue one's better. But yeah, here we are. We are running it for the French Grand Prix, the team's home Grand Prix, hoping for a good result. Last time we got a single point, 2 points because we had sprint as well. So we managed to score ourselves 2 points from starting near the back and at the back because we took engine penalties in Austria. So all in all, I would say it was a good weekend. We've got some fresh components as we head into this weekend, so that's always a good thing. But let's have a look at R&D. Let's see where we're at. So 5th officially is where we're at in terms of the development race. And we're going to take what looks maybe like some powertrain upgrades. We've been lacking a little bit in this area, so obviously we don't have we're not a customer of an engine supplier, so we don't have that benefit really. So we have to really develop the engine more so ourselves, but we're also going to be having a look at durability. We've had more than our fair share of issues, I think. Oh, never mind, no we're not. We're looking at chassis, and we've lost the major weight redistribution that we had. We are looking at durability. Here we are, taking a minor energy store upgrade, and obviously retaking the weight redistribution. Not ideal. We would have been hoping to get that major one on in time for the French Grand Prix, but is what it is. We went to the track in these Ferrari Romas and had a little play around with a pal, and we had to race him and win. I don't know if we do that or not. Let's find out. Keeping the cars just about in one piece, ideally. Yes, we are, and we are going to win. That's good. Anyway, I'm feeling good about this weekend. We tend to go pretty well around this track, so yeah, let's go and do some qualifying and see what we can really do. I'll be expecting probably a P6, maybe a P7 in terms of qualifying pace, with if you factor in the Mercedes, the Ferraris and the Red Bulls. So yeah, hoping for good things around here. And on to Q1 then. Lando Norris setting the pace so far, 1:33.1, and ourselves, well, we're just coming around to complete what will be our first flying lap. And never mind. No, we're not. We've put the power down a little too early. We may have got on the curb a little bit there, to be honest. And we just lost the traction, spun it round. And yeah, that's us not setting a time just yet then. We do go back out though, and we're going to see what we can do. P5, that'll do. That's not bad. P5, we obviously only had that first run that we screwed up, so I'm not sure whether we changed the tyres or whether we kept the same tyres on, but it's good enough to get us into Q2. We lose Pierre Gasly, not great at his home Grand Prix. Zhou Guanyu, Yuki Tsunoda, Alex Albon and Nicolas Latifi. Not a good weekend for AlphaTauri so far then. But we move, and on to Q2. Here we are. We've already gone out and set a banker. And here we are, improving on that time quite significantly, 5/10 up as we head into the last couple of corners. 6/10 now. We're going to improve even more. We come through the tight final corner. We could have improved more, but we lost a lot of time on that exit as we run towards the line. Looks like it's going to be a P8, which will definitely be enough to get us into Q3. Lovely. And Esteban Ocon comes through as well. So Lando Norris in the McLaren, getting some pace out of that. Valtteri Bottas, though, in the Alfa Romeo. Where's this pace come from? Up in P5. We better keep an eye on him. We lose, though, Kevin Magnussen, Mick Schumacher, Lance Stroll, Daniel Ricciardo, and Sebastian Vettel from this session. And back to the track we go for Q3, setting our first time in this session. What's it going to be? P2. So we're almost up there setting the pace. We did go purple through sector 3 though, so that's good. And we come round, well, this was our second lap. It's not really gone as well as we would have hoped, unfortunately, as we come up towards the line, 3/10 down, and I don't think we're going to be doing anything spectacular here, but it's good enough for a P6, so we'll take that. It's exactly what I said we were expecting, so yeah, good result for qualifying. Charles Leclerc takes pole position, Lewis Hamilton joining him on the front row. Max Verstappen and George Russell share the second row, Carlos Sainz and myself on the third row. And yeah, Sergio Perez in the Red Bull is not having a good time at the moment. He just doesn't seem to get the pace out of the car like he should be. And Valtteri Bottas in 8th, that's not bad. Esteban Ocon in 9th, Lando Norris in 10th.
Hello and welcome from the Circuit Paul Ricard, current home of the French Grand Prix, an event dating all the way back to 1906. Now, it's been held at many venues over the years, with famous moments from Dijon and Manicourt the feature of many a highlights reel. So let's hope we see more of those in the race today. A lap of Paul Ricard then consists of 15 corners and a total length of around 3.6 miles. Drivers will need to position their cars carefully on the exit of the flat-out turn 10, ready for the double apex right-hander at 11. Watch out for potential overtaking action at the end of the start-finish straight and into the heavy braking zone of turn 8. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Marshall lines up on pole position. Sergio Perez lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Leclerc, they've taken a grid penalty, Mick Schumacher and Hamilton, Stroll, Russell, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Vettel and Pierre Gasly. Ocon, they've taken a grid penalty. Norris, Guan Yu Zhou and Tsunoda. Albon, Latifi, Carlos Sainz and Daniel Ricciardo. Verstappen and Kevin Magnussen fills the last spot on the grid. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? It's race day yet again, and joining me for a chat is Natalie Pinkham. Now, our racers are certainly in for a rough day today. What will you be watching for as they go down into turn 1?
Well, the start of the race is always one of the most nerve-wracking parts. You have to hope that everyone is able to get a clean start. And this is possibly the trickiest part of the entire race. So many drivers in such a small space. And finding your braking point into turn 1 as well. It's testament to the driver's skill that there aren't more incidents.
Okay, this is our engine supplier's home Grand Prix, so let's give them a race worth watching.
Well, this is a surprise, isn't it? What are we doing here?
So let's go through all the gears if you can. We need to make sure the engagement is okay before the start. We're going to want to put some temperature into the tyres and brakes. We need to keep the engine cool though, so don't go too high with the revs.
Everybody, it seems, has taken engine penalties, and we find ourselves on pole position for the first time ever. Now, obviously, it's not on merit, which is unfortunate, but nonetheless, we're at the front of the grid, so this could be interesting. I do believe we are forecast some rain, so let's see what happens as we wait for the rest of the grid to form.
Up now. Be patient and watch for those lights.
And here we go. 5 red lights are on. And we're underway from pole position for the French Grand Prix, and immediately we've lost it. Perez absolutely sends it past us. Much better start than we could have hoped for. And Bottas also in second place of all people. Valtteri Bottas, this is unreal in that Alfa Romeo. So we find ourselves still on the podium, but down in third place from that pole position start. Not ideal. We've got Ferraris behind us. I think that's Carlos Sainz. No, that's Charles Leclerc right behind us. The 2 Mercedes as well in the mix. So we're really going to have have our wits about us if we are to do well in this race. As we come round then into the first lap, we're managing to just about hold off Charles Leclerc, but he's going to make a move by the looks of it at the end of the straight. And just look at the straight line speed deficit we have on that Ferrari. We just haven't got the speed, but we are going to brake later than him and send it back. Keep our P3 for now then as we head into the first lap. Perez though absolutely running away with Valtteri Bottas in the lead of this race. which is not something I thought I'd be saying today. Well, maybe Perez, but not Bottas up there as well. But yeah, Charles Leclerc is not done with us yet, as he absolutely sails by with that ridiculous straight line speed of the Ferrari. And now we've got to worry about Lewis Hamilton behind us, and Mick Schumacher's not that far behind either. I think we might find ourselves falling back here if we're not too careful. So just going to have to, bit of a moment, keep our wits about us, as I said earlier on. But Mick Schumacher up in 6th, so some big penalties for some of the big teams. I'm not exactly sure where Verstappen is, or, well, Leclerc's in front of us. I'm not sure about the rest of them, but yeah, we benefited quite nicely here as we head on into lap 2. Here's the onboard of Lewis Hamilton as he's right behind us and looking to close that gap and maybe get himself closer to the podium, but we're going to be doing everything we can to stop that, although with the straight line speed we're going to have to really be careful. Here he comes. Oh, nearly. He was having a little look on the inside. I reckon he might be looking to size up a move at the end of this straight if we're not careful. I'm a bit out of sorts with this race. I was not expecting to be starting where we did. And yeah, Mick Schumacher is about to get overtaken by George Russell by the looks of it. But Mick going a bit deep there. He's managed to maintain... No, he hasn't. Never mind. They were side by side. It was looking good for Mick, but he just didn't quite get the run out of the corner that he would have needed. But anyway, onto lap 3. Charles Leclerc has been dragging us along and has dragged us up towards Bottas and Perez. So this is good because we'll be getting DRS this lap as well. So hopefully we can capitalise on that. Maybe use a bit of overtake and get ourselves a little bit closer to the front of this race. Maybe up into first. That would be nice. But yeah, I don't know about that. We've got to be realistic about the pace we've got, and we're not quite where we need to be yet in terms of a championship challenging car, but who knows? Stranger things will have happened as we come round to complete the 3rd lap. Charles Leclerc is not really managing to make any moves on the Alfa Romeo ahead. I would have thought that by now he'd be through, but
Okay, so we're leading our team
yeah,
by 5.
seems to have a lot of straight line pace. Obviously also being dragged along by the Red Bull, which helps. So yeah, it's certainly helping him out. Oh, big moment for us though. Into lap 6 it'll be. Get the overtake on, get the DRS open. Lewis Hamilton will definitely be closing in though after that. What can we do though with Charles Leclerc? I really feel like if we can get past Charles at the right moment and pull out a gap, we might have a chance here. But look at this then, the top 5 cars all within a few tenths of each other. And Lewis Hamilton thought he might have a move there, but it seems like he doesn't, as we took a bit of a wider line. Maybe just trying to get a decent run out of this corner and have a run at Charles, but I don't think it's going to be the case as we move along. It's not going to be the case. But we can hope, you know, we are sticking with him. It's just getting past him is very difficult. And then if we do get past him, staying past him is even more difficult. As we look maybe around the outside, it's not quite meant to be. George Russell, though, is a good 1 and a bit seconds behind. So as long as he doesn't close up. Oh, we're going to send it up the inside into the last corner on Charles Leclerc. Yes, we are. That'll do very nicely. And, of course, we get DRS from that. Here's another look. Just up the inside. Nice and clean. And off we go. Lewis Hamilton also getting in the mix there by the looks of it. That was the point of view from Charles' car. He's 5 tenths behind us now, so if we can get amongst these top 2, we should be safe. And Hamilton and Leclerc are fighting behind us. This is perfect for us. It means we can pull out a bit of a gap and hopefully get out the DRS. We are out the DRS now, so if we can hold on to it and keep that gap above the 1 second, we'll be laughing as we pull up to Bottas. Are we going to make a move here so soon? I think we're about to find out. Up the inside. We have a little look, but we're just not quite close enough, unfortunately, on this occasion. We can get a good run out of this corner and absolutely send one into the fast right-hander, maybe. I don't know, but we seem to have a lot more pace into this double apex right-hander. So let's see what we can do here as we go round the outside. Have we got the pace to... overtake around the outside? Apparently yes is the answer to that one. So we do get past Bottas and on to lap 7, chasing down Perez. Just 2/10 the gap now as we approach his gearbox. Bottas though is still within DRS range, so that is something we need to pay attention to as we head to the tight section, but then into the DRS zone. So we are still attached to the gearbox of Perez. I reckon we might be able to go for the lead here, you know, which is not something I thought I would be saying today. But here we are as we look to overtake with DRS. Not actually using overtake yet because we rinsed it. Oh my goodness, and Perez really didn't want to let that one go easily, did he? We do get past though, and that's us in the lead of this race. What is going on here? Let's have another look at that one. Look at that. We make a little bit of contact, but ultimately, move done. I don't know if Perez got damaged. Looks like no, because he hasn't come into the pit lane, so that's good. At least there may have been a little bit of guilt there if he had got damaged, but just hard racing, and yeah, no damage acquired for Perez. On to lap 12 then. You can see the sky is looking a little bit grey, but the medium tyres are well past their best at this point. The tyre wear around this track is really, really harsh. So we're going to come into the pit lane, stick on a set of hards,
Perfect job
and
on the
off
turn
we
in
go.
there. Looks like a nice stop time. We're happy with that one.
Yeah, good pit stop for us
Okay,
as
stay
we
clear
head
of
back
the
out
white
onto
line
the track.
on exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross onto the track.
We have come out just behind Lando Norris, who's, I'm not sure if he's pitted onto hards or if he started on the hards. I would imagine he actually started on the hard tyre. Up the inside we go. Plenty of space there. As we do get past Lando. Judging by the speed we had over him, I would imagine he started on the hard tyre, which means everybody in front of us, or most people in front of us, started on mediums and need to pit still, as Sainz and Joe do so right now. So let's see where we're at. Perez just ahead coming out the pit lane, as is Russell. There's Perez, and we do get Perez. The undercut works quite well. We've got our tyres obviously up to temperature at this point, but now we've got to keep him behind. It's going to be challenging when he's on fresh tyres. Although this lap, he's going to have to warm those tyres up. So as he sends it up the inside, seems like he's not having too much of an issue with warm up. Hopefully we can get him back. We shall see. Nice bit of DRS. And behind us, Norris and Russell having a little scrap. Which is always good for us. We're going to have a look up the inside. Perez locks up, which is just as well really, because we were about to have a crash there, I think, because that move was not on. There was no space there. We were so far back, and we got really, really lucky with that one. But into the lead of the race, and Lando must have started on the hard tyres because he's just come into the pit lane. And the raindrops are falling, so I think in a couple of laps' time, it might be time for the Inters. We shall see. Still got DRS at the moment, but as we head off later on into the lap, you can see how much the track has changed already. And Perez is coming on the outside. That's a ballsy move. Just keeping that bay for now, though. I reckon now might be the time for the intermediates, to be honest. We seem to be slipping and sliding all over the place like we're on ice skates. So are we going to come in this lap? Surely. We've got nothing through here. I think we are. I think we have to come in surely on this lap. Let's find out.
Okay, I think it might just be about time to come and change
good timing.
this time.
Good timing from the engineer there. I think we were going to come in anyway, but in we come, followed by Perez, followed by Russell. I think everybody's going to be switching to those Inters now, so if Lando didn't already switch to the Inters at his pit stop, he will be kicking himself.
Fantastic stop, faster than we were expecting.
As we come back out onto the track, then there goes Lando. He did put on the intermediate tyres. That was a very, very smart move. A bit of a gamble at the time, but it paid off, which brings him up into the top 3 now, which is kind of crazy. Only Hamilton ahead. Still on the hard tyres, so he's going to have to come in and get himself some new tyres. As Sergio Perez punts us from behind and has lost his wing there, I think. Let's have another look. Yeah, certainly lost the end plate. Not ideal. This is the onboard of George Russell. Just looking on at all the carnage ahead. Norris, though, although we... Oh, hello.
DRS has been disabled by the stewards. DRS will be offline. Wait for further updates.
So, there it is then. DRS offline, which obviously in this game means it's wet time. And, yeah, Lando Norris pulled an absolute blinder there, didn't he, by getting on the Inters earlier.
0.3 seconds.
You'll notice, though, that we are low on fuel. We do not have enough fuel currently to get to the end of this race. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that, which is not ideal when we're trying to fight for what is potentially our first win. So, yeah, as we go round the outside, we haven't quite got the speed to make it work, unfortunately, but I think we might be going into fuel-saving mode very, very soon as we do get past Lando into the final corner. Question is, will we have the pace to hold on to it? Going to be doing a lot of lift and coast. Yeah, here's another look at that move up the inside. Seems to be a bit of a favourite spot of ours in this race, but we don't have the speed, unfortunately, on the exit to hold on to it. We're going to go side by side through turn one. We come out ahead. I can't stop looking at the fuel. I'm a bit worried about that. As we go side by side with Lando Norris again, who's going to come out on top of this one? We are for now, but I don't think Lando's done with us, and I would imagine he hasn't got to worry about his fuel, so not an ideal scenario for us at the moment. George Russell in the mix though as well. As we get onto the straight, of course, George Russell in a much faster car is about to do a double overtake. Unbelievable. And we almost make contact with George there and get ourselves past Lando, but George comes through as well, which is not what we would have wanted, because now we've got a Mercedes behind us, which is not ideal. And you can see that fuel is going down even further. We're really going to have to start worrying about that soon. I don't feel like I underfueled the car, honestly. I normally put it to about half a lap more than we're doing, so something's gone a bit wrong here.
Okay, clear.
Not sure what happened there. Oh, Daniel Ricciardo has had a bit of an issue and is out. Not ideal. What's going on here then? On lap 20, George Russell absolutely flies past us. We're going to have a look around the outside. He bumps himself over the curb. He's locked up and did make a bit of contact with us there, I think. Let's have another look at that. Here's what happened over the curb. He did lock up. Yes, I think you're right, Mark. I think the Inter is the way to go. Still ahead currently, but George Russell has got himself some wing damage and taken himself out of contention for this race win. And as the laps go on, you can see we've been fuel saving and fuel saving. We had a good second to Norris and Leclerc, but unfortunately we just have to do so much lifting coast and short shifting that they've closed the gap inevitably.
Green flag, we're racing again. Let's go.
Who's that? One of the Red Bulls has stopped. Max Verstappen is out of the French Grand Prix. That's unfortunate. I don't think he was having the best race anyway, but yeah, as we move on to second to last lap almost, no, lap 25, third to last lap, we're just about sorted out our fuel deficit almost, so we can probably put our foot down a little bit now and try to keep Norris behind. But as I say that, he pulls out and absolutely sails past like we don't even exist. And look at the difference there. Unbelievable. Charles Leclerc as well in the Ferrari trying to get in the mix, and we're doing everything we can to hold him back as we head through the final sector. Only a couple laps now. If we want to get this win, we're going to have to go for it. We've sorted out our fuel deficit. Sorted out the fuel deficit, so really now it's just a case of get on it and overtake Norris. We've got 2 laps to do it. Can we do it? Well, we're about to find out as we head into the penultimate lap of the French Grand Prix. I mean, I say we we've got to get on it and get Norris. We've also got to keep Leclerc behind, which is a tall order.
This is your final lap of the race.
On to the final lap then. We haven't managed to make that overtake yet, but we are pretty close. So if we can find the opportune moment, we could send it. We just got to have just a clean lap, I would say, and just try to keep pace. It looks like Lewis Hamilton is going to be giving Charles a bit of a rough time, so he might be preoccupied defending in as much as that he won't attack us. So here we come then for the last time, getting onto the Misal straight. Oh, a bit of a snap there on our car, but we managed to hold on to it. And as we move on, getting quite close. Not close enough though, I don't think. Half a second gap at the moment, which is nowhere near enough. That said though, Sector 3 is generally quite strong for us, so let's see how close we can get. Very close. 3/10 now the gap, 2/10. We might just get ourselves close enough. We have a little look around the outside. This is going to go right down to the final corner, I think, as we come round. Lando Norris looking like he might win this race, but what have we got left in the tank as we head towards the final corner? We've overtaken a few times here. We send it up the inside. On the final corner, we get through into P1. Can we keep him behind? It's quite a long run up to the line here. Yes, we can. And it's going to be our first ever win in F1 22.
Fantastic drive. That's just fantastic. Amazing. You deserved that race win. Well done, mate.
Unbelievable. Carlos Sainz gets driver of the day. I don't agree with that, but our first ever win in a bright pink car as well.
Another superb French Grand Prix comes to an end, and it's a thoroughly deserved victory. Natalie Pinkham, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
It's an heroic effort for any driver to race in conditions like these, and seeing them fight their way to the front was very special indeed. They were able to find all the grip, all the good lines, and had the confidence to get on the power to top it all off. That's what pushed them into first place today.
Here come today's winning drivers, and what a race this was. This is a team that knows success very well in F1, and they're just itching for even more. Congratulations to the Alpine team for their excellent win today.
There we go then. Our first ever race win, and I'll be honest, I didn't think it was going to happen in Season 1. We got so lucky there with the weather, with the engine penalties. Unbelievable stuff that was, and I mean, what do we even say? 26 points. I think we even got the fastest lap in that race as well. So that's some really solid points. That should cement our place in P4 of the Constructors' Championship. Yeah, look at that. First win and first fastest lap, I believe, as well. So we'll take that. That was an excellent result, and an excellent result for the team at their home race. What more could you ask for? Lando Norris as well from McLaren, bringing it home in second. Some very good points for them. And Charles Leclerc getting himself onto the podium from that P4, but yeah, it was an interesting one. Max Verstappen didn't manage to finish. Sergio Perez found himself all the way down in P11. That was not ideal. That was from the contact that he had with us just after the rain started, so could have been a better day for Red Bull, but for Alpine it was brilliant. We're up into P7 in the Drivers' Championship, and Esteban Ocon remains in P10, so just a good result all round, I would say. But Charles Leclerc, regardless of the result for Ferrari today, is having a very good championship indeed. There you go then, P4, 83 points for us, a good 19 points clear of McLaren just behind. But next time out, we're headed to Belgium, and that's always a fun one, as you probably know. So join me for that one, and yeah, if you're new, leave us a like, leave us a little comment, subscribe, and I'll see you for the next one.